So righty got big toes going. Look at big toe going. All right, lefty's having it. I told you, release, charge energy, store it up, and release it. Yep.
Yeah, my feet are jumping.
What you feel in the hands?
Like vibration.
Okay. So, in theory, what we spinal cord injury exercise physiologists like to discuss is stimulating the nerve endings under the feet to get a signal to go to the brain and back down. That's why the Neuro Recovery Network, they're the actual, and again, it's not just them, it's the rest of us too, maximize weight bearing, because you got a load that the brain and the nervous system can sense and pick up. And then we go back to the first place I worked for, and she said stimulate the bottom of the feet because it awakens the nervous system to let it know something's about to go on because things are laying dormant. So in theory, we want to give it this alertness that, hey, we want you to work now. It's time to do things. Time to go back to what we once did prior to injury. So imagine if I had I had this when I was at one of those other places and then did the exercise therapy according to, 1 on auricular therapy, 2 on the reflexology model, hand reflexology and foot reflexology. All the nerve endings in our palm and in the bottom of our feet represent the homunculus, which hits the entire body. So you're getting total body energetic wellness, and at the same time, nervous system alertness is actually occurring. Because why? Your toes are doing stuff that they wouldn't do ordinarily.
Both of them are going crazy.
Yeah. So if we take the bioelectric concept of we were manually trying to, so the first lady I worked for said, toe pulls and shake the feet and do things to the feet. The second system, Project Walk Atlanta, said, let's do active nervous system recruitment, ANSR. Now, personally, I never found any documented evidence to say ANSR worked. I didn't have anything to measure it, to know that it worked, but I have something now that definitely mechanically ensures it happens. Right. So the other part of ANSR was guided movements through the range of motion to help the person intentfully think about it, but that's not the case here. And then we get to the NMES, neuromuscular electrical stimulation, where you're doing a movement at the same time you have the appropriate sensory cue on the muscle group that performs a movement and trying to tie the brain's motor cortex to that movement. The brain can't see it past the lesion. If we don't remodel the lesion, we can't get that. So what do they turn to? Axonal sprouting or other connections that may be a primary connection that is there that might be reassigned, retasked by the nervous system, which it can do, and in hopes that we'll get that. We have no way of measuring it. And again, we still have years to watch people 2, 3, 4, 5 years. One of my guys, 18 years. And they're still trying to get that signal through to get the ultimate. So I say, jump the years, jump all that physical burdening. My process will be, and shall be, because I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to do this for a few others, and I'm going to shift my attention elsewhere. Wake up the nervous system.
Yeah, I feel my feet tingling.
Do you normally feel your feet tingling?
No.
There we go. Wake up the nervous system, turn the body on, remodel the scar tissue. I'll have something for that. We already got something in the works. It's going to remodel the scar tissue and dissolve the scar tissue on the spinal cord. And then use DC current to help train movements, and then use AC current, i.e. FES spikes, RT 300, 600, 200, etc., excite system, to hypertrophy and train the muscle to get it stronger to produce the appropriate effects. Yeah, I don't have the money to back it, and yeah, what I'm saying is big talk, and I got to sit down at the lab and do a whole bunch of research, take and do analytical analyses, comparative analyses on what's already been written, comparison type stuff, talk about it, then talk about the new stuff I'm going to introduce into the field. So I'm only 44. I'll be damn in my 80s still doing this shit. so maybe before my life's work is done, that's what I'll give as my crown jewel back to the industry of paralysis to understand that. So, my peers they weren't hearing me on it. That's fine. They looked at me like I was crazy. That's fine. Neither did Frankenstein, neither did Einstein, neither did Socrates, neither did all those great guys that he studied were all shunned. Guess what? We study them today. I'm going to give something back. I don't care who what says. I don't care if anybody else is offended by it. Hey, you're not thinking critically. You're damaging the electrical system of the body. We're going to use energy to repair it in a quantum physics type way. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And everything I said, I got work, whether it's for my doctorate or other works, Dr. Tennant. Hey, right, you're sitting next to the book, The Body Electric, Healing is Voltage. Hello, Dr. Peter Lathrop, Electromedicine. I got all these wise old dudes, plus more, that whose ear I've had. And then what? The quantum doctor. That's gonna be me. So yeah. That's where I'm at with it, and that's why it matters and it's relevant. So yeah, if you think I'm joking, wait and see. Look at that. And that's just at the first level. I haven't cranked it up yet. And the other guy I had on this with a T5 injury, I had to be in high before his feet started moving. And granted, you're younger than him in that regard in terms of your injury, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I feel like you see it going my muscles and my wrist.
All right, so do you feel, so you still feel it in the trunk when you arch up?
I do. I feel it in my lower back.
Low back, and that's below level, your T5. Yep.
And I kind of feel it like straight down my spine too.
What? Okay, now talk about the length of straight down the spine, because that's a long thing in there.
Yeah. I guess starting in the middle.
In the middle, which is just above where, just above where.
Actually.
If you could just think about it, it's right there. So, no other therapy anybody can do in this nation can somebody feel electrical current run through their spine, through their injury level, nowhere. Nowhere. I ain't saying it. But I'm just saying though. Yeah. I'm just saying what had happened was.
Yeah, I feel it like you see it going my muscles and my wrist.
All right, so do you feel? So you still feel it in the trunk when you arch up?
I do. I feel it in my lower back.
Low back, and that's below level, your T5. Yep.
And I kind of feel it like straight down my spine too.
What? Okay, now talk about the length of straight down the spine, because that's a long thing in there.
Yeah. I guess starting in the middle.
In the middle, which is just above where, just above where.
Actually.
If you could just think about it, it's right there. So, no other therapy anybody can do in this nation can somebody feel electrical current run through their spine, through their injury level, nowhere. Nowhere. I ain't saying. No, she's good.
Okay. I'll call you in a little bit, then we'll talk about it.
Tibialis anterior is contracting.
You're off today, right?
That's, people get drop foot.
All right, I'll call you back.
Because tibialis anterior can't contract. People get drop foot because the gastroc, the calf muscles, tighten up so damn bad, and ankle mobility gets so damn limited that it can't overpower, tibialis can't overpower gastroc to lift the toes up to dorsiflex, and here you are doing it like no problem, and it's your whole leg. It's not just putting electrodes or some Bioness stem on the muscle group to make it go. It's doing it on its own. That means it has a propensity to let the body and brain know that it can be retrained, and the mobility in the ankle, the health of the ankle joint will be maintained, the health of the knees, health of the hips will be maintained. I'm still trying to figure out a way I can stand you on this without getting electrocuted myself, which I will.
That's what I was
and then some.